And welcome back, Fire Addicts, to another episode of Trustless Fire. Today we're talking about if you need a firewood stand. So I'm here at the front of my property at my firewood stand, and I got a question. Someone pinged me, a messenger. They asked about advice and tips of starting a firewood stand if it would work. And so I guess the first question is, getting into it, is best tips. Well, I can go into all that stuff here, but I want to cover first location. Okay, are you on a busy enough road? Are you on a road that is too busy or too fast, just to the speed limit? Are you on a country road that this gets no traffic, but people's hard to find? Now I'm on the west end of town, and where I am close to several neighboring towns/cities, right? So it's a good location, and I feel that if I moved to have more property, maybe a bigger house, I'd be too far out in the boonies that people wouldn't want to come to the stand to get firewood. Okay, so location is key. Now you don't have to have the firewood stand out of your property, in your driveway or whatever else. It could be someplace else. It could be at your cousin's lot. Just have them kind of watch the whole thing, right? So it for me, I think it's ideal where I'm here and I work from home, right? So if someone comes here, I can answer any questions. Whereas if it's not going to be on your property, you're not there to field any questions. Now, granted, you can put your phone number on the stand and then have them text or call you if you have any questions, but then your number's out in the public. So I mean, there's always pros and cons to this whole thing, okay? So if I was going to start over again, I would still put it here in my driveway. I still have access to my driveway here. People can see it from the road. I can see it from my house. I can watch the whole thing, right? But people can still park here, and I can still have access to my vehicles back in here, right? So this works out for me, and I still have full access to my driveway. This is just a little bit of my driveway here, type thing. So location for me, this works out, and I have contemplated having another stand outside of my one on my property, but I haven't got to that part yet. I think it's because of lack of inventory from before. If I had to do it again, I think another thing was I would use pallets. I would make the structure more robust, more sturdy, and do it right the first time. I would definitely build a better roof on it, structure, top, make these units more uniform and more even type thing, and so I wouldn't have to do it again because I have fixed and redone this stand, I guess maybe several times now. It is what it is, but you don't need these fancy signs. They're nice. You can do a hand painted one or buy decals from the local hardware store or dollar store, but I wanted to look professional, so I think all the logo and all the signage here helps. This flag, not really needed. It's just there, but I do like all the signage here. So that's that. I guess another point on location is make sure that you have full rights to the area that you put the stand on. So it's not unlike county property or town property or your neighbor's property. Make sure that you have permission, and make sure that you're not going to get in trouble with the authorities. I'm not going to get into whether you're a legit business, a side hustle, and paying taxes and all that stuff. That's a whole different episode. But I make sure the location is key, and the location so people can park. So people can park, grab the wood, and park safely, grab the wood, pay, and not be in a rush, right? So my property goes over here. I'll show it to you from the road. I'm on the road right now, walking. My property goes all the way down there to that no parking sign down there. Now, I could, in theory, build this out and have the firewood stand way over here. This is still my property right here, right? I could put it right here. I could get some soil and material. I could build this out and have the stand be here because this is still my property, and have my driveway still be totally clear of everything. But where do people park? Where are they going to park? They're going to park right here on the side of the road. That's not safe for them, and I think that would deter people from stopping. If the stand was right here, they would have to park on the side of the road here with their flashers on. That's not safe. So it just makes sense to have the stand where I have it in my driveway. So wherever you have it, make sure that it's safe and convenient for people to stop, park, grab the wood that they need, pay, and they go. Make it as easy as possible, and convenient and safe. I'm just gonna say that, okay? So that should be a no-brainer, but keep that in the back of your mind if you ever want to start a firewood stand. Now we can get into why I have a firewood stand versus selling cords of firewood. I think that there's pros and cons to both, but I guess maybe have a conversation in your head of why I want to have a firewood stand versus selling cords and the purpose of it. Because firewood stands are a lot of work. Okay, you're selling smaller. You were selling smaller quantities of wood to make more money on the volume of firewood. Okay, kind of like that 1 month that I sold 1 cord worth of wood in a month, and I made $1,000 on that wood. Now, no one's gonna pay $1,000 for a cord of wood in one trailer load or whatever, right? They're probably not gonna do that. But how I sell the wood, that's the amount of money that I made that month, and that was the volume of wood that I sold, and I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, what I was trying to get at is make sure you have a conversation of why I want the firewood stand versus selling cords. So a question from the person who pinged me was how to pay lockbox versus electronic the currency or the payment. Now I have this mailbox. This is not a cash box. By definition, this is the mailbox. This is just screwed into the side here. I should probably bolt it to the stand, but it's screwed. But I'm sure you could take a pry bar and pry it off. Don't do that though. But I don't leave money in here. I know when people come and they pay, and I check and I take the money out. I'm sure you can, if you wanted to, you can take a pry bar and pry this open and get the cash in there. Knock on wood, no one has done that to me yet. No one has stolen cash from me. They've stolen firewood, but not cash. So I know people don't have cash, so I have my Venmo code here, and that seems to help because not everyone has small bills of cash, and I think it's about a split 50-50 of people paying me cash versus Venmo. The Venmo I think is more popular. There's other e-payment options out there. Venmo seems to be that all seems to work out. And then I have a sign up here that says, if you pay with Venmo, don't put firewood, put something else. Put McDonald's, put Starbucks, put balls for the park. Something that's not firewood. So payment system, make sure that it's as easy and obvious as possible. Easy and obvious and just painless. Make this whole process easy, understand, and intuitive. Now, another thing I've worked with is signage at the stand. The stand before had these dollar store whiteboards, and I would handwrite each section with arrows what each section would be. And then I have evolved my signage to be more color coded, more professional looking, but more obvious. So like this mixed $20 rack, that's orange here. Orange matches this section here. Same with the now bags of firewood. This is green. This is green here. Is this section here. Now I've worked really hard to get this to be as intuitive and make sense as possible. But people still have questions when they come to me. Is this section here just $20? Is this a $6 a bag? Yes. Like I don't know how more obvious I can make this for people, but yet people still have questions. So I'm going to do an episode on making this easier for people. And I hope it's going to work. And it would take some time and a lot of time in doing it, but I think it's going to be easier. I don't mind answering questions, don't get me wrong, but I put a lot of thought in making this as easy as possible. So signs are key. Signs are key. Another thing as I'm talking is, where you're going to have it, do you need power? Do you need power? Because I have lights, and I'll do an episode on lights soon at the stand. But I have these lights. These are from Harbor Freight, I believe, to make sure that the stand is lit, and I have them on pretty much 24/7. I could turn them off, have them be on a timer. I could do that easily. I just haven't yet. So they're on 24/7, but it's nice having the stand be lit, especially at nighttime. This should not be dark. Especially if you're gonna have it be open 24/7, you need lights on it. Okay, if you need lights on it, are you gonna have solar panels with the battery maybe, or corded power? Okay, corded power. I currently have corded power to here for the lights on. Okay, so that's what I have for the lights. Another thing for power, are you gonna have cameras? Will you have security cameras on your stand? Now I have 4 cameras that are pointed or have access, or I can look at the stand. 4. 2 are on the stand. One's right there, and one is right there. I have 2 more cameras I can put in the stand, on the stand. I could do that, I just haven't done it yet. But do you want cameras? If you want cameras, how are we going to power them? Now, those cameras you see are on their own solar panel. Solar panel 1 and 2, and those charge the internal batteries of the cameras. And that's just because of the type of cameras that I have, I'm able to do that. Not all cameras have an internal battery in them. So location-wise, you have access to power. Okay, so that's another question. My power is up here connected. Cord, and it's currently hooked up to my camper, but I do have power right there as well. I want to, at some point soon, another episode in the future, or unless you want to come down and help me. No? Oh, sounds good. Anyway, I want to dig a trench and put the power, put some Romex line cord wire in the ground and have it be so I don't have a cord that's on the ground here to step on and look at and trip on and drive over. I want that to be in the ground at some point soon. So power, I think, is a question. Do you need power? And if you're going to have power, how are you going to power it? Where is the source going to come from? Okay. I think another thing, as I'm rambling, thoughts are coming to my head, is as you're going to build it, make sure that there's some design, and then design height. Now, I'm a short guy. I'm shorter, so I built this for me, which not everyone is as short as I am, and to the point where I put this on stilts. You saw this before. I put the stand on blocks, and that added a good 6 inches or so. But still, they have to bend down at this corner right here because it's so low. So make sure that you build the stand as high as needed. I didn't want to have the roof be too high because I need overhang to make sure that there's no wind and rain is going to get in the stand to keep my wood wet. It's already dry. I don't want it wet again, right? So that's how I built it. But if I do it again, I would probably build this a little higher still, or the roof would be higher, so no one will hit the head on the stand here. So height matters in this instance here. Make sure the people don't gonna hurt themselves at your fire stand, right? Not all stands are the same. I got my stand idea. I think the main one was Dan at Back 40, and I like his stand. It's simple yet intuitive, and I don't think he's had much issues there. But there are many firewood stands, self-service stands, whatever you want to call it, on YouTube. Do your research and see what you can find, but make it your own. Make it your own, but make sure signs are key. But the whole structure part, make it your own and see how you want to do it. Now, I sell, I think, like bulk wood in these racks too. People that's common. Either you do bags or bundles. There's options there. Definitely options. It all depends on how you want to sell your wood. So do your research there, as well as do market research. How much does a bag or bundle wood sell for at the local grocery store or the gas station or the next Joe Schmo down the road? So make sure that you are going to make money, to make profit, but yet not going to you want people to come to your stand to buy it and not go anywhere else. So make sure that you are that you have found that sweet spot on what you charge. So that's a whole different, maybe a similar topic too, of if you're gonna have a firewood stand, what are you gonna sell it and for how much, right? So, but I think that like a bundle of wood for $5, I think is a pretty standard price point. You could totally build the stand and out of raw wood and not paint it. I think it looks better having it be uniform, having it be painted. Now I chose gray because I had several shades of gray, and I boxed them together, and then I used that to paint it. So I think that painting adds a more professional look to the whole thing, but definitely not required. So I guess another question would be: Is your firewood stand going to be open 24/7, or are you going to lock it up? And I've asked myself this question before, and it's been on the channel, especially when I have theft episodes. We'll just shut it down, lock it down, and then or have it be opened up a little later. Well, again, I don't want to babysit this thing. I'm home already, but I don't want to babysit it. It's self-service for a reason. People come, they grab what they need, they pay, they go. I don't need to be here. And I said before, I have met only a small fraction of my customers. Most I have never met before. They come, they grab the firewood, they pay in the cash box or Venmo me, and then they go. And I think a lot of them prefer the no contact because they don't need to be. I don't need to be here, so that I think that they appreciate that part of the whole thing. So that's another thing to consider. Are you going to close it down, or is it going to be open 24/7? Is it going to be only open Monday through Friday? Is it only open on the weekends? You need to decide that. And if you do have to close it down, or it's not open for business at certain times or days, how are you going to lock it back up, or how you lock it up? Okay, and how to make that obvious to people. So mine again is open 24/7, 365 days a year, and I think that has worked out for the most part for me, and people respect that. And I have had customers come at night because they needed wood. They came here, they grabbed the wood, they paid, and they went. And if the stand was closed, they couldn't have gotten their wood from me. They have gone to the local gas station. So there's reasons why I have the stand open 24/7, and so far so good. It works for the most part. 98% of the time, this has worked. People have come, they have grabbed their firewood, and they paid. It's supposed to come and sold the firewood and have not paid. So that does happen. But something to consider is, will your stand be open or closed at certain times? Another thing to think about is firewood and the quality of firewood, as well as the amount. If your stand is going to be popular, can you still make sure that you can maintain the amount of wood that you are wanting to sell from here? Yes, you don't have to have the stand be full the whole time, every time. Right now it's empty. Obviously, I need to restock it. But when people want firewood and they come specifically to your firewood stand and you're empty, they're gonna go someplace else and they may not come back. Right now, I tell people to take my business card. I have a case right here of business cards. They can use that to text me, and I encourage people to do so. I would like people to text me ahead of time saying, hey Trav, do you have X amount of wood or mini bundles or cedar kindling? Either text me or message me on Facebook, that type thing, because I want to make sure that I have wood available here and not have them come all the way out to my stand and have them and have it not have what they want. Okay, so keep the stand full. You have the time to process the wood and have enough wood that is ever drying, so you can refill, restock, replace anything that's sold, right? Or do you not have the time? Because having a firewood stand has worked, especially if you're going to process the wood yourself. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of factors in here. Okay, now I have a pretty solid customer base. That is, some only during the spring, summer months, some only in fall and winter. I do sell wood all year round, and I do pretty good. So, are you going to be seasonal, or will you be only a few months, or will you be all year round? So, I'm throwing about a whole bunch of factors here, a whole bunch of questions out there. I'm kind of rambling right now, but hope this all makes sense. It's not a simple question to answer. There's a whole bunch of factors in here, and I'm sure that I'll think about other things after I turn off the camera, but I think this answers the person's question, and I hope that this answers a few other people watching this episode, this channel. Is a firewood stand right for you? With what I have just said, with all those questions and factors, some of you may be turned off by it. And that's okay, because having a firewood stand is not for everyone. Having to sell firewood is not for everyone. You have to have, in my opinion, a passion for firewood. So those are a few things off the top of my head about the having a firewood stand, what I would do right or differently if I have to do it over again. But you let me know down in the comments if you have any more questions on the firewood stand or anything else that I missed. Anything else that you think that would be a factor, an idea, or an aspect or question that someone else who is contemplating to make their own firewood stand and create their own self-service firewood stand service selling firewood, what they should also consider. Let me know down in the comments. I hope this helps a few of you out there. Yeah, so that's that episode. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, remember, life's short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. Rock and roll. Stay safe, keep cutting. Cheers.